Pulling up to my local Mazda dealer to pick up some parts. Look at that 2022 GR8 6 leaving. Not bad, not bad. Alright, so I'm back home now, and this is one of the parts that I picked up. There's the part number for it. And then I also picked up some new nuts for my rear struts when I do my lowering springs, because Flying Miata recommended it, so why not? Try and do this one hand open. Got this red anodized aluminum, double O-ring, and just a great design. This is really gonna make it pop when I do what I'm gonna do in my engine bay. Not sure if I already said what I was gonna do, so if I haven't, I haven't. If I have, I have. But damn, I love stuff like this. So I got a valve cover off of eBay, and I'm gonna get it powder coated at this little shop called H&R Powder Coating here in Castleberry, and I'm gonna get it bronze to match my rims. Let's see if they can do it. Alright, so my bolts came in for my valve cover dress up kit, so I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna install them. Start off with, I'm gonna use the vice grips to hold the little threaded sleeve. Then I'm gonna go ahead and put the red cap over, and then just lightly thread it in a little. Get it right about here, and then they don't really say you have to do this, but this part to me is just kind of no-brainer. Just put a little bit of Loctite right there, and then once you get to this position, and then you just give it a nice little turn, and now it's tight. Tight will hold it in place, and you're ready to install these. That's how it's going to look when it's done. And I'm hoping that this red lines up with the red of the valve cover's oil fill. We will find out here in a minute. Alright, so I went and grabbed the cap. These are literally the same red. That's going to look so good. And also peep what I caught from my boy. These are legit as fuck. Yeah. These are the original lips. Never been touched. But you know, we gotta re-lip them to some hot boys back. Alright, so I finally got my valve cover back from powder coating. It was literally there for almost a whole month because they were just so backed up with everything that they got going on, but here's the reveal. Look at that. With the dress-up bolts matching perfectly with the cap. It's gonna look so nice when I put it on the car. I just got the gasket maker I need. I got an OEM brand new valve cover gasket, so can't wait to get this thing on. Probably do it tomorrow. But now this thing's gonna look so good under the engine bay. Came out so nice. And the valve cover was so clean that they didn't end up having to sandblast it, so they only charged me $125. So honestly, you can't beat a $125 powder coat. Alright, so as y'all know, sometimes I don't get to do anything till late at night because I have kids. But luckily, I have the light above me, and I have this Milwaukee light, which lights up the engine bay perfectly. And I'm gonna go ahead and swap out my valve cover to the new powder coated one with all the red accents. I've been waiting to do this for a while, so while I have a little bit of time, I'm gonna knock it out. So, but start off with, I gotta get the strut bracing off so that I can actually get all the coil packs and all that other stuff out. So here comes the time lapse. Alright, as you can see, I got everything undone. So now I'm going to start taking off the valve cover in kind of the reverse order that you torque it down. So I'm going to go ahead and look that up really fast, and then I'm going to start taking it off. As much as I love power tools, when it's something as delicate as a valve cover where you don't want to strip a single bolt, hand tools all the way. Alright, now that I got all the bolts off, I went ahead and I used a power tool once I had broken everything loose just to get the bolts off a little bit faster. But now, kind of gotta find some good spots to rock her back and forth, give it a little pop all the way around. And this motor is relatively low miles, so just a little bit of a pop in the front, and just like that, she's ready to come off. Old gasket out. Since I have a brand new one, I'm just going to toss this to the side. Just look at this. This is what you like to see on a 20,000 mile motor. And then before I do anything else, I'm going to take note. RTV right there, RTV right there, and some RTV in the back right there as well, so that I can remember, but also I have it marked. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start taking some of that RTV off with a plastic, not a metal, plastic scraper. Alright, so now I have the new valve cover. I went ahead and I pressed in the gasket for that sensor. I used a little bit of oil off of the old valve cover in order to get it coated just enough. And then, alright, now I got the new gasket on. I got some ultra grade Permatex. Now, I'm going to refer back to my bulletin. Alright, and so if you can, let me just make sure you guys can see this. So a little bit on the front side, right there where I took it off, and then a little L on that side. And then on the back, where you have the mount for the high pressure fuel pump, you put a little bit on both sides of it. Now, when it comes to this, you don't want to coat it too thick. It even has specifications as to how thick you want. So you really want to be very gentle with the amount that you put. Just like that, should be exactly what I need. And now, kind of get these wires out of my way. Talk about other stuff, just whatever you need to do to get them out. Honestly, you can even zip tie them out of the way if you really need to. And very carefully, we're going to go in at a slight angle lined up. You're sliding the sensor on. Just like that, the valve cover is on. Now I have some red dress-up bolts that I'm going to be using for this, that Allen needs. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start getting them in. Just like any install, it wouldn't be working on your car if you didn't have something go wrong. In my case, it was pretty simple. One of the bolts just fell, and because there's a carpeted underliner, I kind of had to mess around with it for quite a while before I could get it out. Nonetheless, I got it out, so it's not that big of a problem. Alright, but now I'm going to return back to my bulletin, and I'm going to start tightening them down in the order that it shows. Again, here is your order for your torquing. Right now I'm just doing a hand tight. I'm not going to torque anything down yet. And then a weird thing about this website is it says there's 3 steps, but each step is the same inch pounds. So not quite sure about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do hand tight all the way around, and then I'm going to convert inch pounds, which I believe is only 15 foot-pounds. Yeah, 6 to 10 Newton meters, and my torque wrench has Newton meters starting at that. So yeah, it's definitely not a whole lot. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to convert that, and I'm going to get started. Alright, so after doing some conversions, you barely want 7 foot-pounds on these bolts. My torque wrench barely goes down to 10, so I'm going to kind of push it a little bit and do 10 all the way around and just leave it at that. Alright, so truthfully, don't even try a torque wrench. 10 foot-pounds is so much that I could literally feel it turning on there and it wouldn't. So don't strip it. Don't even try. Just use a regular ratchet. It will be plenty. And then in a few days, once everything's gone through heat cycles, go ahead and just double check everything. And then for the back ones, you're going to want one of these Allen ball heads that allows you to get different angles because it's so tight back there. So get you one of those. And now, to complete the look, the OEM cap. Oof. And then I gotta put my dipstick back in, and now time to just magically put everything back just like that. Just like that, it's done. Looking pretty nice if you ask me. I'm really liking how it's looking. That gold with the red accents just makes the whole engine bay pop now. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna wrap this with the gold heat wrap like I was talking about. And then for car shows, I'm gonna take the lid off so you can see the filter and see that it's a cold air intake, and just kind of give the bay a little bit more of a performance look to it. But then I'll put the cover back on just for my everyday driving, just because, yeah. And I went ahead and I tucked the wires for the underglow a little bit cleaner so they're not as in your face and visible. And yeah, I'm just really happy with how this came out. Shout out to H&R Powder Coating here up in Castleberry. Yeah, if you could like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, Kyle Works on Cars. Have a great night.